Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So today I'm going to talk about Stuart Crystal decanters. I have several just over here that I'm going to show you. And there's a little bit of a side objective with me just showing you some decanters. So I have some really good Stuart Crystal references. You can download them from the Stuart Crystal Collectors Facebook group. And yes, so I have the 1927 catalogue, the 1938 catalogue, I have the 1964 catalogue, the 1972 catalogue, the 1999 catalogue, and I have factory drawings for everything I think is post-war. And I have a few other little bits and pieces. And you think, God, he's got everything. He can ID anything. And the answer is, not quite, not quite. So what I'll do is I'll show you some decanters, and then we can have a delve into what I can find or not find in the catalogues. Yeah, it's not genius, and some of them are marked, but I can't find them. But anyway, let's get on. So this is the first decanter we're going to look at. This one is not in any of the references I mentioned. Not even the shape of it is in there, because Stuart Crystal, they used a lot of shapes over and over again. I couldn't find this one in amongst them, but yeah, let's have a closer look at it. You can see here it's got the Woodchester motif here, but then it's got these flat cut panels below and above. This is a little motif that Stuart uses a lot. The stopper's not like any of the other Stuart stoppers I've got. And underneath somewhere, he says pulling it upside down. It says, where is it? This is the problem with this, it's difficult to see. There it is. It says, I don't think I'm going to get it to appear. Anyway, it says Stuart England, and the T has got a little curly tail on it. It just won't appear in this light. Anyway, that's what it is. So it says Stuart England. That is the style of Stuart England that they used up until 1950. So I think it might be post-war, where Corbett was making a lot of tall, tapered decanters at that time as well. So, but then you'd think it would be in the factory pictures, but it's not. Not even the shape of it. So, yeah, and in the catalogues as well, 1964 catalogue, this shape doesn't appear. So, I've never seen another one. I think this was used for a very short period of time, maybe only a couple of years or something like that. So this is the next decanter I'm looking at. It's fairly plain. There's no pattern here at all. It's just on the shoulder. You've got this double line, and then you've got this laurel around it. Yeah. So this is the same motif used on the Arundel pattern that was used for 50 plus years, but Arundel has got panels cut underneath it, and this has none. Just has a little bit of panel cutting here. The stopper is kind of a fairly typical Georgian copy stopper. Still got a star cut base. There's no, he says pulling it away, double checking again, but there's no mark on it. Okay. So how do I know it's Stuart Crystal? One is using one of the motifs here, and the shape is a shape that's in the 1927 catalogue. This pattern appears, but not on a decanter, at the beginning of the post-war factory drawings. So let's go and have a look at the references I have. This is the 1927 catalogue, and you can see we've got a few decanters. I think there's even more than this in this shape. This shape was also used in the 1938 catalogue, but I can't find it post-war in any of the documents. So yeah, that's a problem. It's got panelling a bit like this one here, same stopper. But if I go to the post-war drawings, we've got this here, which has got the lines underneath and the laurel pattern around it. But we've only got this. Now, what I've found is these factory drawings are not consistent. Okay. In some cases, you'll get multiple items of the same pattern, and in some cases you'll just get one, even though there are multiple items. So this number might be a service number, but they're only showing this little grapefruit dish. But if you look here, you've got, for this pattern, you've got this glass, this, and this. Is there any more above, below? No. And also for this one here, you've got this one and this one. So yeah, so these factory drawings are not 100% reliable, because some of the quality of some of them is not good. You can't tell what's going on, and then in some cases one item that might be nothing like the item, if you've only got this glass, you've got no idea what the decanter's like. Yeah, it could have other embellishments that are not here just because this is just the glass. Really difficult. So this is the next one that we're going to look at. This is unmarked and it's not in any of the catalogues. So why do I think it's Stuart Crystal? There's a couple of things that are very distinctive about it. This stopper with the 3 lines on it, this appears in the 1938 catalogue on different decanters. Come on, focus on it, there you go. Look at that. Very smart deco looking. I'm not going to put it on when I pick it up because I can see why this is actually an unsuccessful design. So I'm tall and I've got quite long fingers. I'm not a stubby fingered person. I could barely pick it up with one hand. If it was full, I would be worried. So you almost have to pour this two-handed. The other thing is this motif, very similar motifs like this. Here, let me show you a bit closer again. One is matte. That's something that's very distinctive to, not 100% original, but it's something that Stuart Crystal was doing quite a lot of this bit. So all the cutting is matte, and there's sort of like lines, and this is very distinctive of Ludwig Knei's designs. I will show you I'll show you the decanter with the stopper, and I'll show you something with a very similar design, slightly less complex than that one, but slightly more complex than that one, but still very similar. So here we go. This is the first thing I'm going to show you. It's this here. See the stopper with the 3 lines on it. Also it had a little spot on it like this one here. So yeah, but this one's does have a very small pouring lip. That one had none. And then I think it's, which one was it? This one here. This motif here, if you just removed the bottom leaves and the top dashes, it would be the same as this. So you can literally cut this pattern down to make that pattern exactly the same. So yeah, I'm happy that it is Stuart Crystal. It's just not in any of the catalogues. It looks like it's pre-war. If it wasn't made for very long, and it doesn't feel, it doesn't pick up like a successful decanter should. If you've got this one here, it's a big chunky decanter, but you can get your hand around that bit there. But that one is just too round and big, and anybody smaller than me is going to need to use 2 hands to pour it with it, and that's a terrible design. Looks kind of cool, but yeah, not functional. So yeah, let's move on and have a look at some more decanters. So I've got 3 very different barrel-shaped decanters here. This one has a name. It's called Tamara. I think this is a post-war design. Most people say it's 1930s, but I don't think it is anymore. It looks very like something from the 1930s, but I might be wrong, but I don't think so. This one, and it doesn't appear in the 1938 catalogue. This one does appear in the 1938 catalogue, so we're good to go with that. It could be earlier. And this one doesn't appear in any catalogue, but yeah, it is marked though, so, and you can see it's got the same stopper as this one, apart from the fact, well, it actually hasn't, because it's got, if I can get it to focus, there we go, it's got the same motif on the top, but this one is matte, this one is polished. Also, the stem on this one is cut and the one on this one isn't, but essentially it's the same shape. The top's polished off as well. So, whereas this one has the more traditional radial cut like a Georgian one, this one's got just a smooth pontil. This one has a stuck-up base, and this one is a bit smarter because it has this lovely petals, just like the matte cutting here. Yeah, so this is all matte cut, and yeah, it's got the petals on the underneath as well. So that one's, and it's got the petals up here are matte cut as well. So that is really nice. Yeah, this is the best one. Clear. This is not bad. This is a bit, it's got some bloom, but this design is a bit heavy. They're trying to be original. Somehow, it's not quite there. But anyway, I don't have a reference to show you for this one. I do know from the factory drawings that this shape was being made up until at least 69, because there's a new design in the factory drawings that's right next to the commemorative works that they were producing for the Prince of Wales investiture. So it could be this, and the shape also is in the 1938 catalogue. So you've got this huge space of time where it could be, they could be making the shape right up to the very end, I think, maybe. But anyway, yeah, you're a bit, but it doesn't appear, I can't find anything with this cut pattern in those factory drawings, which implies it's probably pre-war, and it does have that mark that was used from 1926 to 1950. And yeah, so let's go and have a look at the references that I do have. So here we're looking at the 1938 catalogue, and this is the decanter we're looking at, the 27567. Now, this is from 1938. The highest numbered piece in here is like 28400 and something. Okay, so that's an important number. And then is this one? No, it's not. It's this one here now. So this is the 1964 catalogue with Tamara in it, and the service number for that is 28954, which is probably about 500 higher than the highest number in the 1938 catalogue, which I imagine after the war broke out in 1939, they probably weren't really doing new designs. In fact, they were only allowed to produce tableware, basic tableware, and yeah, this wouldn't count as that, and a lot of what they did wouldn't count as that. But anyway, there's the shape that we were looking at, 1964, and there's the pattern. But I think it might be made just post-war or just prior to the war, but I'm not sure of that. 500 is a lot of designs to knock out in a year. So I don't have a reference for this. They did use this shape in the 1938 catalogue. They do make conical decanters in the 1927 catalogue, but they're a bit more narrow based. This corner doesn't look to be as rounded, so they're a bit sharper looking than this one. But yeah, you can see the motifs that you've seen in some of the others. You've got the 3 lines, you've got the same leaf pattern that you've seen in others, spots, these lines as well. So yeah, it's got features, and this exact shape is used several times in the 1938 catalogue, and it is marked Stuart, England. You can just see it here, of the type that's used from with the curly T, used from 1926 to 1950. Also, it's got the same leaf pattern on the base as opposed to a star cut that you've seen elsewhere, but these are all polished, so it's a bit like the Tamara one. I think that's quite a smart way of doing it. But anyway, so that's that one. No reference, but it's marked, and it's clearly straight out of the same design stable, which probably means it's designed by WWII. So here we are with the last decanter I'm going to show you. It's a bit unusual. From here, it just looks like a standard, sort of like Victorian, early 20th century, square spirit decanter. But it is not, because if I can reach it, because it's so big and far away, here we go. It's a cruciform decanter. Look at that. Ta-da! Now, a decanter like this does appear in the catalogue in 1927, but it has a different cut pattern down the side here on the shoulders of this. So I think it is, because when it's got the stopper, I think that's going to disappear off the top of the picture now. There we go. Everything about the whole shape of it is the same, and even the panel cutting is in the same place. You know, it doesn't come down the shoulders, it stops just here. The shape of the top as well as the body is all exactly the same. So yeah, we'll go to the reference and have a look. I've seen one other like this, and it had a different cut pattern on the shoulders, but because I own this one and I was looking at the other one, I was thinking this is just the same with a different cut pattern, but it's actually the same. The one I saw is the same as the one that's in the 1927 catalogue. So that's just me having that reference really in my head. So so it doesn't count in a way, because it's something I saw. It's not here. It's not in the free reference, because I'm just sticking to free references for this. Anyway, let's go and have a look at what was in the catalogue. So here we are with the 1927 catalogue. This is the decanter I'm talking about. It's got the panel cutting just to here, just like the one we're looking at. very looky-likey. I think that's... I'm going to check something actually. And he's back. And the thing I was checking was, does it have the same number of facets as this? And the answer is yes. I mean, if you look at this one's got a bit less. You can see it's less layers. This one and this one are the same. So anyway, so it's got the same number of facets, same cut leg, same shaped body. I'm pretty happy. These lines that run up the side here on the one I have loop over the top of the shoulder. And then you've got a slightly different pattern here. So I have looked through this catalogue very carefully, and the motif that's in the pattern in this bit here does appear in other things, but I'm not going to go chasing that down again. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy that it's Stuart Crystal. This number is very low, 1400. You remember the 1938 one? You've got numbers from 28 up to 28400. Here you've got 2300 here, and this is 14. So you're probably, this is probably a pre-war pattern, or pre-World War I, that is. So yeah, it's cool. Also, while I'm looking at it, just occurred to me just as I clicked stop, I've talked about the signature with the T with the curly bottom. This is what I'm talking about, this here. So this was used up to 1950. So there you have it. I've got you all these references, all free. I didn't get them all, but I've got you some of them. And still can't find anything. Well, you can find some things, but you can't find everything. But you can use them in a way to go, is this or isn't this? When the absolute thing that you're looking for is not there. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit tired now. I probably spent about 4 hours scrolling through these catalogues and factory drawings to make this film. So, but anyway, yes, it's been worth it, because even I'm kind of like going, is that right? You know, questioning what I've thought before. Looking at, you know, when you start looking at the factory numbers in earnest and going, oh yeah. Anyway, so thank you for watching. I'll give you a link to the Stuart Crystal Facebook collectors group, and in there, if you go into the files, you can download your own copies of the documents I've been using. So you've got no excuses, no excuses. You can figure this out for yourself, I'm sure. Anyway, thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and have a good night. Good night.